The night we almost met. Have you ever wondered how many times you've walked past your soulmate without knowing? The night we almost met only on whispered hearts. She was running late. Her alarm didn't ring. Her hair refused to cooperate. And the coffee shop she stumbled into wasn't even her usual one. He was there too, sitting by the window, scrolling absently through his phone. For exactly 8 seconds, their worlds aligned. The hum of morning traffic, the same barista's voice calling out orders, the same song playing softly in the background. Neither of them noticed. And yet, something, a feeling, a flicker, brushed past them like a whisper the universe forgot to finish. The next time, it was the train station. Rain poured down as if the sky wanted to erase the day. She stood under a flickering light, clutching her umbrella. He ran past, late for the train she was waiting to board. They didn't see each other, but they shared the same sigh when the train doors closed too soon. If someone had paused time for just 1 second, they might have looked up. But love sometimes hides behind wrong timings. 3 months later, she ducked into a small bookstore to escape the cold. Her favorite book wasn't on the shelf, but the copy she reached for had his handwriting on the inside cover, a note meant for someone else, long ago. She smiled at the words, not knowing that he'd written them years earlier, for a love that never stayed. The universe, it seemed, liked to recycle moments. He saw her from across the street that day, or at least, he thought it was her. The way she laughed, the tilt of her head, the soft pink scarf fluttering in the wind. Everything about her felt familiar. But before he could cross, the light changed and she was gone. He laughed to himself. "You're imagining things," he whispered, not knowing how wrong he was. Life continued, as it always does. She moved cities, chasing dreams that looked better on paper. He stayed behind, trying to outgrow his regrets. Yet, on random nights, they'd each wake up from dreams that felt too real, standing under the same streetlight, waiting for someone they couldn't name. Timing had its own cruel poetry. He started dating someone new. She did too. But love built on convenience never hums the same way. Their hearts beat steadily, but never wildly. Both of them kept searching, not for a person, but for a feeling. A feeling neither of them knew they'd already brushed past once upon a time. 2 years later, fate took another quiet breath. She dropped her phone outside a cafe. He picked it up. Their fingers almost touched before someone called his name from inside. He smiled politely, handed it back and left. She looked at the phone, then back at the door he disappeared through. Something about his eyes stayed with her for days. At a friend's wedding, they were in the same room again, dancing to the same song, laughing with different people. Once their eyes met through a sea of guests. He blinked, trying to remember if he'd met her before. She looked away quickly, her chest aching for no reason she could name. Years later, she found herself sitting by a lake, thinking about every person she'd almost loved. He sat on the opposite bench, earphones in, lost in his own thoughts. The wind carried her sigh toward him. He looked up, but she'd already stood and walked away. He started writing again. Short letters he never sent, confessions to no one in particular. She started journaling, tiny thoughts about people who never stayed. Both of them wrote about the same thing. The kind of love that feels like déjà vu. Sometimes, the universe doesn't owe us answers, just chances. On a cold December night, he returned to that bookstore from years ago, the same one where she'd once found his note. This time, the clerk told him the book had been bought by a girl with a blush pink scarf. He smiled, finally understanding what his heart had been trying to say all these years. She sat by her window, reading that same book again. The handwriting had faded a little, but the message hadn't. If it's meant to be, it'll find its way. Maybe not now, maybe not soon, but someday. For the first time, she whispered aloud, "Then maybe someday is tonight." The train station looked the same as it always had. Old lights, the hum of departure boards, the smell of coffee and rain. She stood there, waiting for a train she didn't really need to catch. He arrived by chance, chasing a different destination. Their eyes met across the crowd. This time, no train doors closed. He walked toward her slowly, afraid that blinking might make her disappear. She smiled, small, unsure, but real. "I think," she said softly, "we've been trying to meet for a very long time." He laughed, tears catching the glow of the station lights. "Then let's not waste another second." They talked until the last train left, about nothing and everything. No grand confessions, no promises, just presence. And when they finally walked out into the cool night, it felt like the world itself had stopped holding its breath. Some stories aren't about falling in love. They're about finally arriving. Sometimes love doesn't arrive when we expect it to. It comes quietly, in a glance, a smile, a moment you almost missed. And when it finally finds you, you realize it was never late, just right on time. Thank you for watching Whispered Hearts. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this story with someone who still believes in timing.